Wow, that was it. Cool. Got him.
This is a day in the life of a cinematographer on a short film. Over the last 5 years, I've shot over 20 short films, and each one has had their own learning experiences, and this one certainly was no different. If you're a first-time cinematographer on a short film, or maybe you just want to see how someone else does it, this one is for you. Because this was a small project, I ended up wearing several hats. In addition to being the cinematographer, I ended up picking up the duties of producer along the way. So we were planning to shoot this project on a Saturday evening and then most of the day Sunday. Here it is on Saturday morning, and I'm in the basement prepping equipment for our 5 p.m. call time. Hello? Who's they? Okay, sounds good. That's all I need to know. Okay, bye. So we were supposed to be making a movie in 5 hours. We have actors coming from 4 hours away. And we just had 2 of our 3 actors canceled because of weather. Sometimes these things happen on production. Wow, so on this project I'm also producing, so I need to come up with a solution for this as fast as humanly possible and see what we can do. So I'm gonna give some people a call really quick. Oh my gosh. Now we had a decision to make. Either we reschedule the project to a later date or recast the project the same day. Now looking at the budget, we already had too many sunk costs if we rescheduled, food that would expire, Airbnbs that would sit vacant, plus most of our crew had already made the drive to be in town. All of these factors made us decide, hey, let's see if we can recast the project with 5 hours notice. I felt like I was in sales. I made about 25 calls in an hour. I heard a ton of no's, but in the end, I got 2 yeses, and the shoot was on, but with a caveat. One of our actors was in a theater production on Saturday night and then had a matinee performance at 2 p.m. on Sunday. So here's me rebuilding the entire production schedule on the fly to cram all of our filming into Sunday. We decided to use Saturday as a prep day so we could hit the ground running on Sunday morning. Okay, it's 2:30 in the afternoon. All my prep is now done for producing that I didn't know I'd have to do. Now I can actually get back to prepping equipment like I needed to. My call is at 5, wild day. I finished prepping gear and loaded out into my car. Basically, it's just a big game of Tetris. Clearly, I have done this a few times before. I arrived for my 5 p.m. call time at about 4:50, which is a little later than I'd like to be there. Usually they'd say 15 minutes is on time and any later is late. So that's just a good rule of thumb I've learned over the years. The whole film takes place inside of a thrift store, and so we spent the first 30 minutes as a crew walking through each spot inside the store that we'd be filming, and then each department broke off to do their own prep. While we were making new call sheets for the next day, I got a call from our other out-of-town talent while he was driving. He'd just gotten called in for a big in-person audition the following evening and needed to get back on the road ASAP. So we quickly flipped the schedule around again to get his scenes out of the way before lunch so he could turn around and start driving to his big audition. At around 8:30 p.m., we were done for the night. We had everything prepped for the next morning, and we were just gonna try to get as much sleep as we possibly could. We had a 6 a.m. call for everyone the next day, and immediately we did a quick full team meeting to get the actors introduced and chat logistics for the day. We were set to roll on our first shot at 7 a.m. So we started about half an hour behind, which is exactly what I was expecting, but I knew we would make up ground for this scene. We started with the only Steadicam shot of the whole project since we knew the camera setup would take some time, and that would determine how much time we had to get through the rest of the scene.
What camera? Speeding. And action.
What about coloring and John and Phil are taking care of. That's a bear for the feet.
delivery.
Oh, thanks, that's so cute.
All I want for Christmas is a new home. Scene 3A, take 3, Mark.
Find one? They didn't have any good ones. Well, we still have a few days.
Anyone order a stuffed animal delivery?
Oh, hey, thanks, that's so cute.
Awesome.
We got through 2 of our 5 scenes by 11:30 a.m., in time for our actress to leave for her call time at the theater. And then we moved on to our final scene with our out-of-town actor. He had to leave by 12:30, so we grabbed his side of the coverage first, and then sent him on his way with lunch in hand as we finished her side of the coverage. Because we were in a thrift store, we had plenty of costume options, so we actually threw one of our crew members in a similarly colored jacket for this shot. We got out of that scene about half an hour behind schedule, around 1 p.m., and broke for lunch. This was a weird one. We ended up having about 3 hours before our actress was back from her show, and no more scenes that we could film without her, and so the crew just got to hang out and bond for a few hours. We told everyone you can leave and come back at 3:30, but everyone just wanted to hang out and have a good time, so that was a good sign. Morale was high. I used the time to shoot a few inserts for the edit. We called our crew back at 3:30 p.m. to start setting up for the next scene. We had some extras arrive during this time as well, and we used them for some establishing shots. Our actor got back at 4:30 and we jumped right into the next scene. This was one of the most emotional scenes of the project, so props to both of our actors for pulling out all the stops. We got through this scene by about 6 p.m. and broke for our second meal. I made sure to give everyone their back on set time beforehand to try to keep us on schedule. And we were back at it filming the final scene of the project.
Fix,
We
please.
weren't quite nailing this one, somewhere between blocking and camera and directing, and we could tell people were getting tired, and so we ended up making some changes on the fly to tighten up the ending of the film. Many takes later, and an added shot to make sure we had everything covered, and we called it a wrap at about 8:45 p.m. There's honestly so much more to cinematography than just spending time on set. In fact, most of the process happens weeks and months ahead of time in pre-production. Is there a part of the whole process that you want to see more of? Just let me know down in the comments and I can make a video about it. I hope you found this video helpful. I know this was exactly the kind of thing I was looking for 5 years ago when I got started, and it just didn't really exist at the time, so I hope you were able to take a few things away. I've certainly made so many mistakes over the years, and if I can help just one person not make those mistakes, that would be huge. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you learned something and hope you have a great day. Bye.